practice session. All right. So let's do this. It's practice session here. All right, guys. So I'm going to be real. I'm going to be really authentic here with what I'm sharing with you today. Okay, because a lot of my practice sessions don't look as clean as you guys may see them on camera. Okay, this will be my practice session, and then I'll have another part over here. All right. So what I did is I took a picture of this, and I'm gonna show it on the screen, so everybody can see what I scribbled down. Okay, so that you guys can see how I practice. But before I show this, I want to go through something real quick before I show this. Where's my practice session? Hold on for a second. Okay, let me ask you a question here. Got it. So I got a question for you here. I want in the comments. Y'all know one of the things that people talk to me a lot about is how much we got too much information, right? Like it's everywhere. YouTube, everywhere. You can get a video every day. So here's my question. What do you guys think is the best way to overcome this just oversaturation of information that we have right now? Anybody? What do you think in the comments? How do you deal with that? The fact that you can see not just one video every day. You're talking about you could see 50 videos a day. That's a lot of information. Anybody know the best way to overcome that? Or how do you deal with that? How do you practice with all this new stuff? I'm going to read what Jada Hall says. I'm just going to read just for 1 minute. Whoever writes within the 1 minute, I'm going to just kind of read that. So Jada says, I have to pick something and focus. Some stuff has to get left out, right? I like that. Tom says, manage your own consumption of how much you take in. I love it. Stephen Frazier says, set systems and goals, what we're talking about. Anth says, limit your consumption. Okay. Richard says, got to turn off the screen. Siobhan, I like this one too. Stick to one teacher. Yeah, because if you have a lot of teachers, different teachers, you can have good teachers, you have two good teachers, but they pull you in two different directions because they'll both be thinking of the same thing differently. See what I'm saying? I used to have that problem with math. I teach one person and the parent, he's like, my parent told me to do it this way. Like, I'm like, oh man. So yeah, two different teachers, that'll mess you up. Lock in one song at a time, Maurice. Good stuff, man. Ignore the information, instead focus on a goal. Wendy says unplug. Cyril says focus on one particular moment. Okay, these are all great. Oh, maybe be intentional about what sites you're going to check out and when. So y'all check this out. So here's what I did. I wrote a little graphic, just did it right before here. So here's the ineffective musician. And here's the problem that we're having right now. You got this one person and the knowledge just keeps going in. You got all this knowledge and the knowledge keeps going in. But then what happens to you when you get all this knowledge, people even put this on the comments on YouTube. They'll be like, mind blown. The mind is truly blown because the mind is blowing up. It can't take all of the information, right? And so I had a session, I had a one-on-one session with someone, and I told him that the reason why that the problem was actually not too much information. I told him that the problem was the lack of producing, was the lack of application. Because if you could take every song that you hear and then transfer it out, right? Every cool thing that you heard, if you could hear something cool and then transfer that thing back out, then it's not too much. So it's really, the idea is that you have to produce for everything that comes in. Find a way to put it out. Otherwise, discard it because you're not gonna benefit from it, right? So here's the most important thing. Here's what I mean about the challenge. And here's the beauty of the site, is that what we're trying to do is create a place and a space for you guys to learn something and then go show it. Learn it, then show it. Learn it, then show it. But you can't just learn. The brain it'll just chuck it all out. You understand what I'm saying? So you won't remember anything. And so then you're just kind of you're just basically wasting your own time. So basically, remember, learn something, use it. Learn something, show it. So that's the main thing. Now, here's my practice session. With that said, here's what I've done. Let me take this one out. So I kind of break my session up into three areas. And so what I've done here is I start with warm-ups. And I do want to say this, right now with the time schedule that I have, I'm doing, as you can see up here, 15 minutes I don't know if you could see it beside the 15 minutes, and it is my sloppy handwriting, but I need you guys to see how authentic this was. But it says let time dictate. So basically, I do Hanon every day and scales. The one thing I'm finding out personally is that I didn't really start seeing a change with the Hanon until months down the line. So some of you guys may be doing that Hanon, you may be quitting too soon. Because you may not see a change. I do want to say this: if you don't know your scales yet, you shouldn't be my opinion, you should not be doing Hanon. You should be doing scales. And before I go to number 2, you know what? Let me just actually do it. Let me actually show you guys what I'm doing. So let me bring up my computer, my piano. I'm gonna do it in front of you. So hold on. All right. So let me show you how I do Hanon. And then those of you who don't know all your scales, I'll show you how I do the scales too. All right, so let's go here. Get my computer here. There we go. So with Hanon, I'm doing it in the key of D. I don't do Hanon in C. I know on the site that it's in C, but I do it in D. So, and I do it staccato. I don't do that. I go. And I accent. That's how I'm doing it. Then I go to the number 2. Then I go to number 3. Then I go to number 4. Notice I've memorized these because I've been doing it for 2 years now. Because again, if I'm not consistent with it, it won't work. Then I go to number 5. Then I go to number 6. And this is where the site stops. Then I go to number 7. Then I go to number 8, which is now number 7 slowly would be 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then you start there. So anyone's watching it and you want what that is, because that's not on the site. Number 8 would be, so that's going to be 1, 3, 5, 6, and then 4, 5, 3, 4. Next. It's kind of hard to get it, but them fingers will be real warmed up by the time you're done that. Now, when I do scales, I don't do this. I don't do that. I practice. I do different notes with different hands. I've talked about the system before. Left hand on D. Let's do the D major. Left hand on D. Right hand on F sharp. So now, but I don't do that. The timing of it is ba 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 ba. That's very difficult to have that kind of timing. Then what I do is I switch. I call this a 10th interval. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I do it in tenths. Then I go to the next key. Next key. And I just keep going up. Then, if I have time, I do right hand D, left hand F sharp. Now I'm doing 6th. It's the same as, so just go up a third, bring it down an octave. And so the reason why this is kind of difficult is because if you haven't memorized your scales, you're not gonna know, because when you're playing both hands the same thing, then it allows you to you don't have to really know it because both hands are doing the same thing. But if one hand is here on an F sharp, this one's on D, you're not gonna play it fast unless you really know the scale. So here's what I'm gonna say: unless you know all the scales, scrap the Hanon. This is just my suggestion for now. Okay, if you don't know all your scales, scrap Hanon. Let Hanon be your scales. Okay, let your scales be your Hanon. Let the scales be what you use to warm up your fingers. Once you know all your scales, then move to Hanon, because Hanon will develop the evenness that you need. All right, let's go back. All right, now, Eves, I see your comment, but you need to put that in the. Do me a favor and put that in the general comment instead of a direct message, because I can't really do direct messages. All right. Then, if you can see here, this is warm up. Okay, so this is something very important I want to discuss here. Y'all notice that it says 15 minutes by Hanon, and there's something else here. It's either 15 to 30 minutes. Okay, so that's what I do, but I keep it at a certain time. So for me, I think I start at 8:30 or 7:30, something like that in the morning, and then I give myself a full half hour. Whatever I've done in that half hour is done. So the idea is, the idea that I'm using is that it has to be. This is one of the most important things. And I'm talking about pedagogy now. I'm talking about teaching basics. Okay, I'm not talking about just piano. I'm talking about how to know that you're moving forward. All right, and the way that I know that I'm moving forward is that I give myself the same time every day and see how far I progress in that time period. That's the only way to know if I'm getting better. So if you could be a beginner, you give yourself 30 minutes and say you can only get through the scale of C. And every day you get faster and faster. So maybe tomorrow you do C again, and now you can do D flat, right? And then you keep progressing. This is how I get these insane results. I'm trying to tell you, it works. Because I was telling people I learned all my altered scales in 3 weeks. And this is how I did it. Because I didn't know them before, right? But I gave myself a set amount of time. I was only doing 10 minutes. I did C altered and then see how much I could do in 10 minutes. And then the next day, I did C in the next key. And the next day, the next key. I kept adding. So in other words, you shouldn't be playing one scale today and another scale tomorrow. You're going to come back and be like, oh, what was that scale again? You're not going to remember. So always add, right? But keep the time the same. And so you'll find that as you increase, you'll be able to play more scales in the same amount of time, which really means that you can judge your progress, because now you know you're getting better because you could do more scales in the same amount of time. All right. This is my philosophy on music, on how I practice in the warm-ups, and it works. Right, now let's go to the next thing. No, I want to show you this first, actually. I have something. I'm reading from this paper here because the thing that I copied was this thing here, but I'm actually going to read from this side here. So check this out. So my practice is in basically 3 sections. Okay, so there's 3 sections to the practice. That's going to be the warm-ups, and then what I call my impossible song. Okay. In fact, Siobhan, let's write this in the comments, because I need everybody to understand what I do, and I want you to understand that it works. Yeah, I know. Keep freezing. We'll put warm-ups in the chat, and then I want you to put impossible song, put warm-ups, then put impossible song. And then, good. And then we have fundamentals, and then review. Warm-ups, impossible song, fundamentals, and review. This is the question I get asked most. So all of these are part of it. Warm-ups, impossible songs. Thank you, Wendy, for writing the whole thing out. Great, Jada. Great. I see you. I see you there. All right. I see Cyril. Good. Perfect. Warm-ups, impossible song. All right. Perfect. Now, I want to show you what I do for each. So what is the idea of the impossible song? So the warm-up is first. Then after warm-up, because I have ADD, some of you guys don't like to see the exact same schedule every day. So what you'll see here is I move from, and I'm literally showing you guys the sheet of paper that I have in front of me. So what I do is, from warm ups, I go one of two ways. I either do impossible song first, or I do my fundamentals first. Okay, this allows me to at least have some variety. Okay, because I struggle with, like, oh man, I gotta do the same thing, right? So after I do my warm ups, I'm either going to my impossible song or I'm going to my fundamentals. And then if I do my impossible song, that way, if I run out of time, I've always done warm ups and I always do impossible song, or I've always do warm ups and I always do fundamentals. And if I have time, I keep going. Okay, and then the last thing I do is my review. So warm up. So it would be one. So that's the reason why in this sheet here, when you see the how it looks. Now look at it, because now that I've explained it, it'll make sense. Because it says warm up for number 1, and then it says 2A. See, 2A says fundamentals, but 2B says impossible, because I don't know which one I'm gonna do that day. Okay, but it leaves me some flexibility to figure out which one I want. All right. So if I do the fundamentals, here's what I'm doing. So basically, for fundamentals, it's what it could be roadmap, something from the roadmap. It could be something from one of your tutorials, or something a teacher has been saying. Like, let's say you got a one-on-one with me, and I said to you, you need to make sure you learn X, Y, Z. You need to make sure you know your blah, whatever. Those are fundamentals. If the roadmap says you need to learn all your diminished scales, if you got a training and you say I need to learn all my drop twos, those are your fundamentals. If you're learning, okay, so the fundamentals is the thing you need to learn. Don't confuse it with the warm up. You're not warming. You don't go on the piano and start with fundamentals. You warm up your hands, and then you go to fundamentals after that, or you go to your impossible song. 2-5-1s. You know your 2-5-1s. If you don't know your 2-5-1s, don't do drop twos. Okay? Drop twos don't come. The drop twos are after. Drop twos are after 2-5-1s. You got to learn your 2-5-1s first. The reason I have the roadmap is so you guys can know what order. Okay? So in the roadmap, the drop two is an advanced two. It would be advanced, far more advanced than 2-5-1s, because when you do 2-5-1s, you want to be able to use drop twos in those 2-5-1s, but you want to learn the 2-5-1s in bass form, in root position first. All right, now let me now if I go to my impossible song, so what I do with the impossible song is really important. Right now I'm learning a song. Let me see if you can tell what it is. I'll play it. I'll play some of it. I don't know how far I am with this song. Let me see if I can play some of this song. So here's my impossible song that I've been working on. Anybody recognize this song? Somebody already put it. No, that's not it. Oh, something like that. I didn't get this far. Something like this. Anyway. All right, now listen. Why would I call this my impossible song? This is very important. I need you guys to understand something. The reason I call it my impossible song is because it's a song that's not going to be easy to play in real time. Okay? I need everyone to think about a song that you want to play in real time. Think about it right now. I may ask you to put it in the chat. Just think about the song you want to play in real time. So let me tell you guys what I do. Okay, and I'm giving you guys all my secrets. I tell you, whatever I have to my members, you guys get all my secrets. I wish I was upstairs because I would show you this. I drag that song in Logic, okay, and it's on the track. The actual video file is on the Logic track. And then in the second track is a piano where I would normally create like a MIDI file. Okay. Then I play the song and I play along with it until I can't play it. No, until I mess up. Now, it doesn't mean I'm playing just no, that's like chord by chord. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So for this song, I'm gonna go day one, I'll probably go and I'll stop. Now I'll go to my fundamentals. Because that's all I could do. And then Tuesday comes. And then I'll play it. Because here's the thing, because here's what I do. I press the record button. Y'all listen to me, I'm giving y'all some good stuff. I press the record button, and as the song is playing, I'm playing with it. At the moment that I can't do it anymore and I stop the recording, and then just check this, I mute the video and I listen to myself. And that will show how close you sound to the original source. Okay, you guys understand? This could be done with any song. It doesn't have to be Lingus like I'm working on. You could do your own song. So let me go through this again. I put the song in Logic or whatever DAW on a track, and the goal is to play along with the song. You'll discourage yourself if you try to do more than 10 seconds the first day. You need to be doing chord by chord by chord, so that you can get the feel. You guys can't just, some of y'all just go ask me what the chords are, but you're not working on your feel, and that will show up. It will show up when you mute that video. When you mute that video and you hear yourself play along, because you know how them people, you know how they make fun of them people they get in the shower and they be singing with the they be singing with Beyonce, and then they turn off the Beyonce track and it's like, whoa, that'll reveal all that kind of stuff because you'll play along with the track. You'll be like, I'm doing good, and then you mute that track and you play back and you see hear how you really sound. That's the best way to grow. I'm trying to tell you, it's the way to do it. So I call it impossible song because doing this, in my opinion, in terms of results, it's like getting 1,000-pound weight or something. Like this, what I'm telling you now, this works, guys. I started using this last month and I'm like, whoa, it works. Because I tried Lingus and I gave up. And I tried again and I gave up and I tried again and I tried again. That's the first I've been able to get. So it works. Okay. So now, whenever Corey goes into his solo, I'm going to be dead then. But it's called impossible for a reason. It's supposed to be impossible. And every day you see how far I can get. And guess what else is a neat thing about this is that every day you can see like, oh, I'm getting further. Yesterday I was only able to get this far, but today I was doing this. Or last month I was able to get this far, but this month I'm able to play along with them for more. So that's kind of how I do it. All right. Now, I want to show you one other thing too. Oh, by the way, you guys drop your song in the chat. The one song that you really notice, the impossible song. Notice I don't have 3 and 4 songs. Okay. I got Somebody That's Suddenly by New Birth Choir. Notice I don't have 3 and 4 songs. I got 1 song for impossible. Listen. I'm going to read some of these in a second because I want to hear some of these songs. But check this out. I kept paring down my songs. I was working on 3 songs. I was working on like 10 songs. Then I'll be learning 9. And then I went down to 5. Then went down to 3. I'm doing 1 impossible song. In other words, the 1 song that's challenging you. You understand what I'm saying? 1 song that challenges you at a time. That's it. Okay, everybody? 1 song that challenges you at a time. Let me read them. Let's see here. I got, so this is I showed you this. And then after I do my fundamentals and impossible song, I enter my review stage. And in my review stage, that's when I'm doing all the stuff that everybody else wants to do, like the 10,000 songs. And that's all review, only if I know it before. So in other words, the thing I put in review is stuff I've had to play before. All right, so let me show you 2 things here. The first thing is the notes. Here are my notes from my Apple Notes. And the cool thing about the Apple Notes is that I can drop videos straight in here. You know what? Let me show you guys. I'm going to show you guys. Let me share. I'm going to share my screen with you so you guys can see. Actually, I have. So what I've done, because, okay, so when we talk about environment, here's the thing that I mean. I don't go searching for Glenn Gibson songs. When it's time to practice, all that stuff is prepped. It's got to be prepped beforehand. So my keyboard, I have that in a room. I leave the keyboard on. I leave my computer and I leave this note on. And so as soon as I sit down on the piano, the only thing I'm doing is going straight here. And let me make this bigger so you guys can see the stuff here. So big picture, there's only stuff I'm learning. Yeah, so there's only concepts that I'm reviewing and concepts that I'm learning. And there's only songs that I'm reviewing and songs that I'm learning. That's it. At the end of the day, that's it. Don't make your practice session too difficult. It's either you're reviewing something or you're learning something. And have those separate. Y'all want to see how this looks in ClickUp? It's going to be cool. But let me just show you this. So see these 4 categories? Here are the concepts I am learning. Here are the concepts I'm reviewing. Here are the songs I'm learning. And here are the songs I'm reviewing. Okay? 4 categories. Okay, so that when I'm going to the notebook, it's all organized that way. And I put exactly what I'm doing so I know. So let me give you an example. This here says A diminished scale, this thing here. Oops. Where is that going? Okay. This right here, I'm going to bring it up so you guys can see. That right there. So when I'm practicing, I have everything I'm doing laid out before I practice. I don't get to practice and say, oh, what am I going to work on? I already have it written out. And then I said, practice your A diminished scale with the following: F diminished, go to A diminished, go to C diminished, go to A flat 7. That was Glenn Gibson because he uses for We Offer Praise. He goes, and then he goes right. So he does that movement. Because it's not enough for me to enjoy the movement, I have to be able to execute. So I put it in the practice session under the skills I need to learn. That's not a song. I'm not learning the song. I'm only learning the skill. There's a difference. I'm not learning We Offer Praise. I'm learning scale. I'm learning how to play the diminished scale. And that's why I teach the way I teach when I'm teaching, when you guys are watching a video and I'm saying, here's a concept. You want to learn that concept? Put it under concept. You don't need the song. Take the concept that I talk about and say, I like that. I'm going to put it down to learn it. I'm not going to learn the song. I'm just going to learn this idea. Okay? So I got that. And then I'm going to review the harmonic scale because I already know the harmonics. This is the reason why I said that when I'm reviewing that, because I don't want to forget the harmonic minor stuff. And that's just one, look, that's just one concept in every key. That's just one line, this one little line there. Okay, so that's how I do it. The last thing I want to show you guys is this. Let me show you one more thing. A tool that I use called ClickUp, and some of you may have seen this before. So this is the same thing organized in a little bit neater way. I like using this too. Check this out. In the green is fundamentals. In the pink is songs. This is a free program called ClickUp. I wonder if they'll let me share this. Please let me share it public so I can give it to everybody here. Oh yes, so that means everybody, this is a free program. So everybody, I can copy this right here. I can throw this in the chat right now. Dope. Okay, so check this out. This is a free program, and look at this, fundamentals and songs, and everything is either stuff I'm reviewing. Remember the 4 categories? So either in progress means I'm working on it, Reviewing means I've already know it, and I keep the working stuff I'm working on real nice and tight. It's only one or two stuff. So basically, for the fundamentals, I'm doing my Hanon and the diminished. There it is, what I told you. And then for the reviewing in the fundamentals, I'm doing the melodic mind stuff. But some of you may need to do 2-5-1 here. Some of you may need to drop twos. And some of you, in your choose something to do in progress that you need to be working on. The most important thing that the roadmap has identified you need to know, put that here. Anything that you know already, put it in review because you don't want to forget it. Then move down here to songs. Put all the songs you know that you really like, the things that have the songs that have chords that you need. That's on the review side. You could easily do this with a piece of paper and do it the same way. Put a piece of paper and just put these 4 categories down. Right? You can have one paper with fundamentals, another paper with songs, and then just say, okay, here's the stuff I'm working on right now. Here's the stuff I want to review. Here are the songs I want to learn. And I don't even have the songs I want to learn. I just have what I'm doing and what I'm reviewing. I'll figure it out when I get there, once I'm finished with the one I'm doing. All right. So, all right. I think that's it for my practice session. Okay.